Hey guys, it's Diane. I gotta tell you, it was really interesting. Last night in the evening, I decided to jump on my Tony Little Gazelle. I know, don't make fun of me. I told you I'm an infomercial sucker. I decided to do some, work out a little bit and get on my exercise equipment. And I always put on an audio. I'm always trying to learn as much as I can while I'm doing that type of stuff. And most often I'm using the old trusty iPod. But I was working out in here in my office, so I was able to throw on my computer, and I knew that there was an interview with Mike Dillard floating around that they had done at MLM Lead System Pro. So I pulled it up, I went and looked for it, and I found it. I'm listening to it, and Brian Finale was interviewing Mike, and I found the interview absolutely stunning, because I think Mike and I, our paths paralleled each other so much. It was uncanny to listen to him. And some of you guys know, it's been a little, I don't know, a couple weeks now, whatever. Mike started putting some of my stuff over at Better Networker and bringing some of my training in, which is wonderful of him. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate you and all the guys over there, Justin, everybody. But when I listened to him, I found it fascinating, because I don't know what it was that he and I must have both picked up on, but we both started we were both the most annoying downline members probably ever in the history of the world. I remember driving my upline crazy with all these questions, and they were bizarre questions that normal people didn't ask. And I used to sit and go to meeting after meeting, and I would study them and I would dissect them, and I was trying to figure out what it was about that guy that everybody wanted and that guy that nobody wanted. And I was running through all the books and tapes, and he said in the interview that he couldn't afford all of them, neither could I. I was eBay queen. I bought all my courses on eBay. I'd buy them and sell them and buy them and sell them, keep flipping them. I kept the ones that I thought were the most important. Everything else went. I'd read it, dump it, read it, dump it. So it's funny to hear him say that. He was a young guy, I think Mike's like 12 years younger than me or so. So he was a young single guy, waiting tables and then figuring all this stuff out by day. I was a mom, changing diapers and figuring it all out by night. But we both had that same experience of starting to learn all this real world stuff and getting tapped into direct response. And all the teachers that Mike mentioned also have been my teachers. And I would sit, Mike mentioned handwriting out sales letters. I would sit and study not just the way they wrote, but the rhythm of it, the way they laid it out, the formatting. And both of us got into direct response. I was doing it with selling diet pills from the MLM company that I was involved with. And he started by recognizing that he could take the manual that he wrote and turn it into a retail product that he could take out to the whole industry. So our backgrounds and everything in this things that we studied paralleled each other so much. Now, I'm not going to make believe I did everything that Mike did, because I certainly haven't. I was in a different life stage, in a different position, having children. And I also think being 12 years younger than me probably made him much more internet savvy, because he grew up with it a lot more than I did. But it was just fascinating to look at it. And if any of you guys have a chance to go find that audio, just ask anybody that uses MLM Lead System Pro. It's probably in their back office. You could find it by searching. What he talks about learning how to find your center of strength and your power, your alpha state. I'm always talking about alpha state. The posture with the prospect, never chasing a prospect. And I sat and I giggled, because really, like he said, look, I call them up if they respond to my ad. I give them a couple steps to take care of. If they call me back, they call me back. If they don't, they don't. I'm exactly the same way. I chase nobody. Truth is, I rarely call anybody even. I'll email them or I'll shoot them something over. Sometimes I call. I will. It just depends. It depends on how busy I am and how much I have going on. And I'm really kind of particular about folks. I set things up so that they come chasing after me, as did Mike. In fact, Mike did it so darn well that he had big corporate guys coming after him, chasing him, and you know, all kinds of big people. This is the type of thing that if I were back, you know, 5-7 years ago, if I started to see common denominators, what I was always looking for was the thread between guy A, guy B, guy C, leader, you know, like leaders that I was studying and looking at. If I saw that this leader mentioned these 3 teachers or influences, you know I was into, if somebody said Gary Halbert, who is a, he's passed away now, he was one of the most important copywriters ever, business people. I found Gary Halbert materials. You heard the names Dan Kennedy, and this is the most fascinating thing. How many people will listen to Mike's interview and go, but Mike, how do I recruit people? How do I recruit people? Mike, how do I recruit people? Mike mentions the name Dan Kennedy over and over, but nobody will go pull some Dan Kennedy books. Mike mentions the name of my partner, Joe Schroeder, in almost every interview he does, because Joe is one of the originators of some of these, you know, concepts that Mike put together in his books. Will people go look up Joe Schroeder? No. I'm looking for common denominator amongst the people that I see that are doing the do. And when they say a name, or they say a technique, or they say something they studied, a course, I'm on it, baby. So I just found the whole interview fascinating. Mike, I bow to you. You are, you're just such a brilliant man, how you put it all together in a way that people could understand it, way people could use it, and the way you've wrapped information marketing and network marketing together. You know, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. It's really interesting. It's really neat. Follow the people that are where you want to be, and really dig down and find out what they studied. If you are a musician and you admired another musician, one of the first questions they ask one another is, who were your influences? Learn how to do that. Learn how to say to your upline, who were your influences? And I'm talking your successful upline. And they start saying people like, they'll say Jim Rohn, or they'll say Les Brown, or they'll talk, you hear the name Todd Falcone a lot. You'll hear all these different names. Go look them up. Go find the original sources and then put your twist on all the good stuff you learned. The truth is, marketing, you know, Mike doesn't profess that he's the guy that made everything up. He's not. And he doesn't say he is. He's the guy who took it and put it into a very simple and marketable product that industry-wide everybody could understand and utilize. That's what makes him a genius. The basic concepts and understanding, well, marketing funnels and funding proposals and attraction marketing has been around since the beginning of time. He just applied it to a new venue, made it usable by large masses of people. What ideas can you find? What twists can you put on something? How can you take something into action and put a business spin on something that you know about and turn it into cash? You know, I sit around and I make these vlogs and I talk about butterflies, and because I like butterflies, and people all write me back. Everybody who likes a butterfly, everybody who's struggling in MLM related to Mike, because he told them his story and then he put it in a way that they could understand it and use it. What do you got? Because I promise you do have something. And everybody's an expert at something. Everybody has a strength. Everybody can put something together. The biggest thing is recognizing that you are, you're great. And he talks about that contrast between going from the guy that was begging somebody to come with him to the guy that was giving people directions because he knew that he knew that he knew that he had something to offer. It's in the day that you recognize that you have something to offer that you win. You don't have to have it all. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to be the expert. You just have to know that you have something special to offer, that you're ahead of your prospect, and you can give them direction. And the minute you know it, they're going to know it. You're going to get signups. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. Later.